Hey guys, it's Cameron here with Emerson House Buyers, Emerson Property Management. Let's see if I can get this, the lighting right, there we go. Every week I bring you tools, tactics, strategies, lessons I've learned, things that helped me build up a sizable rent portfolio in about 2 years, and now manage that portfolio. This week I want to answer a question from a subscriber. You guys got any questions, comment below, email them to me at info@emersonhousebuyers.com, and I will do my best to answer all these questions you have. The question is, I'm going to read it here. First, she says, thank you so much for this information. I watched all of your videos, and to be honest, they were a lot more helpful than the real estate classes that I have attended. Thank you. Much appreciate that. I did have one question about the wholesale process. What happens if the seller backs out of the contract and you already have a buyer lined up? I watched a video where if a buyer backs out, you can keep their deposit, but I was wondering if you could let me know what would happen if it was opposite and the seller backs out. So if you guys haven't checked out the video up here, what happens if the buyer backs out? But as far as the seller, this is a great question, by the way. I had this happen before. So I had a signed contract with some sellers. They were looking at other options. They were talking to other investors, which absolutely they should, doing their due diligence. And I met with them, got them to sign a contract, handed them an option check, sent them the earnest money to the title company. They called me 2 days, maybe a day later, and said, Cameron, we're actually going to sign another contract with another investor. He offered $2,500, $3,500 more than what I was asking. I had to explain to them, this contract has already been signed. You already entered into agreement with me and my company. At that point, the seller started to go back and forth about, I didn't know that, I thought you could get out of the contract, blah, blah, blah. So what I ended up doing, me personally, I said, basically, that was pretty crappy, and I'm going to let you out of the contract. The reason I did that is because what I sat back, and I remember thinking this clear as day because I was going back and forth on what to do. You could the only thing you can do is go down to the courthouse and file a lien against the property. So you can take that paperwork, go down and say, I already have a contract with this property, and that will show up when the other buyer or seller tries to come in. So, when the other buyer tries to come in. So when you have your contract, seller backs out and tries to go somewhere else, you slap a lien on their property and down at the courthouse and show them the paperwork you have signed by the seller. And when they go to try to sell that will show up, and you will tell them, hey, you need $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 for your wholesale fee, whatever it is, to make that go away. So they cannot sell that property until they have satisfied the conditions that you have met. Now, I weighed my options. I said, okay, I go down and I file a lien against these people. It was a flood house. Or I walk away, let it go, move on, focus on other opportunities. And I decided I was weighing these out, and I decided to let it go. So I said to myself, if I had all the money in the world, what would I pursue? What would I do? And I thought, I wouldn't care. If they really think that buyer is legitimate and offering a better deal, fine. And I'm not going to worry about it for a few $100s or a few $1,000. It's not worth it. So I let them out of that contract. I basically did not pursue it. I did not go down to the courthouse and deal with that. That is what you would do, though, if something seriously happened that you needed to get involved with. That's how you would handle that. If you really needed this deal, let's say it was a huge spread on a deal, somebody tried to cut you out, you would go file a lien against the property. But that, to me, guys, if somebody else comes in, I just don't want to, I'm not going to mess with it. I'm going to focus my opportunities, tell them that's not a great way to do business. If they do cash the option check, though, you might have them on the hook for that. They had not, my sellers in my situation had not cashed the option check. So they were kind of not on the hook, but if they do, and then they sign with somebody else, then they're really in trouble, right? So they've already kind of fulfilled a couple points. When they sign, it's over. But I'm just saying that option check, that's another couple $100, whatever you decide on. So the moral, I guess, of this story, so I think I answered your question. File a lien with the courthouse. But be cognizant on what you spend your time on. You only have so much time. You can only do, so many things each day. And if it's a big deal, then pursue it. But if it's not, cut your losses and move on. The sellers, some people you just can't work with, now, move on, focus on other opportunities. And it was actually a good decision for me. I don't know what ever ended up happening with the house. Don't really care. I had another couple opportunities come up that were great, and that might have prevented me from being able to do it. So I don't know how it would have turned out if I would have done it differently, but I'm satisfied with my outcome. So hope that was helpful. If it was, let me know. If it wasn't, let me know. I appreciate everybody watching. Comment, let me know how everything's going. If you have any other questions or follow up, and I will talk to you guys next week. Thanks.